Hey everybody, welcome to the big unboxing mail call for this week. I'm Aaron, editor-in-chief of Comic Booked. Be sure to check out our website, comicbook.com, and check out the rest of our YouTube channel here, Comic Booked on YouTube. We've got a ton of videos, lots of stuff. So this week, I've actually got a huge box, and it's down here on the floor, and it's like this big, it's gigantic, from E&J Boutique in Brooklyn, I believe, in New York. So real good folks. They have a deal. They advertise all over Facebook, and they do bulk comics. So you can get like about 100 comics for like $60. I think they have 60 comics for like $40. So they kind of do, smaller. But I had ordered a set from them and got a little less than the minimum of what they said I was going to get. So I emailed them and said, hey, this box looks a little small. And they're like, oh, we'll send you some more books. So I said, well, that's cool. Why don't I just get some more? Because I liked what I got out of the box that I opened. So they're like, oh, sure. They made me a deal. So I got a huge box. And then the United States Postal Service was nice enough to send it from New York to California and all the way back to Maryland, because I guess it's creating jobs or something. I don't know. So we're hoping they didn't all dissolve in all that shipping. I'm going to take my handy dandy little scissors here and see if I can hack my way into this box. If you're bored and you just want to leave this one running, you can pop up one of our other videos from this last week. We talked about DC Rebirth. We did a pretty comprehensive history of the DC universe. So if you're having trouble reconciling the whole Rebirth thing with kind of what you know about DC, be sure to jump on there and take a look. I know the video is like 45 minutes long. We do a really good history of DC Universe all the way back to Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we talk about that. Then, talk about the actual Rebirth book, and we pretty much go through it cover to cover. So we do cover a lot of it. There's only a couple things we weren't real sure of who, or what was going on. But it's an interesting book. So for DC fans now, it's worth picking up. For fans who kind of fell away, like me, it was great to pick it up and go, oh, wow, I remember these people. And I remember a lot of the events, like from Flashpoint and from Infinite Crisis and from other series that have happened in the past that they're kind of drawing back together in the new DC universe or whatever they're going to call it. So post Rebirth, so it's pretty interesting. And then also you can check out our big controversy on Captain America and what's going on with that, with the first issue of Captain America, Steve Rogers, #1, coming out this past week. And, it's been all over the place, national news and everything. There's definitely more to the story. So if you read it or you've heard about it and you're like, I'm not even going to pick that up, pick it up, because 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 issues from now, you're going to start seeing some things happen, I think, in that series that are going to be like, oh, that's really cool, the way they're kind of weaving this story. And, some outside influences is affecting Steve's past, and we just need to figure out what that is. So anyway, on to the comics. There is just a huge box of comics here, a ton of stuff. So I'm just going to start grabbing it out pile by pile and showing it off. Most of it looks like it's in pretty good shape, so that's pretty cool. We start off with a issue of West Coast Avengers, back from the 90s, issue 10, or maybe from the 80s, with Headlock and Griffin. So it's kind of funny, but bag and board, really nice. So they pretty much, from what they've told me, they just grab from boxes when they do house purchase, like they buy a house and the person who died was a comic book collector, so they just pretty much pick up everything they got. There's always some neat stuff in there too. Last box I got some really cool stuff from like Cerberus, which was great. This is an interesting book, New Vampire Miyu. It's from Iron Cat, which I've never heard of before, but it's kind of a manga, definitely manga art, but very, very neat. So cool stuff you don't always expect. Punisher Armory issue, #7, that was cool. Punisher Warzone 19, Punisher Warzone 22. Oh, very cool. Here is Paul Chadwick's Concrete, #9. Very nice. From Dark Horse. Pretty good shape. Concrete #10 as well. Bagged and boarded. Very cool. Hey, can't beat that. Reign of the Superman, This was back when Superman died back in the 90s. This was the introduction of John Henry Irons as Steel. So he became he was working on the high iron or the high steel, and Superman saved him, and he felt like when Superman died, then the torch passed to him. So he made armor, and he had this cool hammer that could like shoot power blast. And it wasn't until later when they kind of screwed with some stuff and made it so that he was actually a metahuman. Before that, he thought he just had, he was cool making the armor and stuff. So another West Coast Avengers or Avengers West Coast, number 93. Hey, there's Punisher 47. Very cool. Some old Punisher. Bloodstrike number 20. Good old Image stuff. Backlash number 10. Another one. It's got a Brett Booth cover. Very cool. Justin would like that. Punisher number 30. Holy War. Here's Bad Rock, cover 1A for that one. And here's a cool, and these are always fun to pick up. Anytime I see these, I get these, and that is the 2099 books. And, you get the little damage on the cover, but, I mean, this whole box, for the price I got it for, it's pretty cool. It's well worth having a nice copy to read of Spider-Man 2099. So, that's awesome. And Virtual Bang from Iron Cat, another anime. So, sounds a little risque. Anyway, all right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got Tom Strong from America's Best Comics. Tom Strong, number 14. West Coast Avengers, annual number 2. I do remember having this when I was younger. The Avengers Celestial Quest, number 3 of 8. And number 4 of 8. And number 5 of 8. That's cool. Now we're getting into some of the Punisher books that I already have in my own collection. Punisher 58. That's pretty cool. The Terminatrix Objective and the Avengers number 2. That's a 2 of 4 issue limited series. Avengers Infinity. It's kind of cool. I don't remember ever reading that. It's number 2 of that. Continuing with Punisher number 53. Number 54, 55, this was some awesome stuff when Jigsaw came around. 56, and it was shortly after this when they made Punisher went black. He had like some melanin implant or injections or whatever and turned black, and him and Luke Cage went out. It was just crazy. Punisher Armory number 1. Punisher Summer Special number 3. Punisher Back to School Special number 2. That's a big heavy duty one. Punisher Armory 6. Pretty cool. Here's X Factor 97. Some great stuff. Oh my. And there are a lot of books here, so if you're tired of this already, then I'm sorry. Punisher Annual number 3. I actually used to have this in my collection. Punisher War Journal 50 with that really cool cover that's like die cut, I guess, or raised. So you can see, you can't see that, but if you were virtually able to run your fingers over the Punisher, then you could feel that he's raised from the cover. Very cool. Tom Strong Family, number 13. Never read any of these, so that's kind of an opportunity to read something new. Oh. Like I said, there's a ton of books in this box. Dark Horse Comics Presents. Dark Horse Presents number 75. Very cool cover there with Sauve, Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, and Chairman. It looks like the three stories. Sometimes there's some really cool stuff in Dark Horse Presents. Dark Horse Presents 76. There's 77. I'm getting a good collection of these, buying this stuff from these folks. So, oh man, Lone Wolf 2100. Very awesome. I picked up the latest series of this, Chase the Setting Sun, I think it's called, or something like that. And this looks like maybe the first series. So there's issue 2. Issue 3 and issue 4 of that. So I'll just have to, I think, pick up issue 1, and then I have the set of that. That's awesome. This is one I really wanted to read. So great stuff. Concrete number 5. Got a cool cover with some guy with like guns taped to himself. I don't know. Weird. I never really read much Concrete, so now I have an opportunity. Inferno Hellbound from Top Cow, some big event that was going on back in the 90s, early 2000s. number 2 of that series. There's number 3. Now we get in some good stuff. Here's the Old Valiant X-O Man of War, number 8. That's great. Great book. Number 8, number 16, number 17, number 18. Awesome. I love the old Valiant stuff. Any of that stuff I can get my hands on anymore, I just grab it up. Another New Vampire Miyu from Iron Cat. Also Dragon Wars. Some interesting manga or anime stuff. If I don't read it, I'll throw it to my son for him to read. Freak Force number 3, another Image title. This one with who's doing the cover on this one? Carl Kessel does the cover inks, and looks like Eric Larson is writing the script with Keith Giffen doing the plot. So very cool. West Coast Avengers, that's an iconic cover there of issue 5 of West Coast Avengers. Issue 6, these are some old ones. Issue 7 with some Ultron and Hank Pym. Issue 8, so pretty good early run. And issue 9 of West Coast Avengers. Awesome. All right, let's see what else is in here. Oh, let's see. And we also, a couple little bent covers, but that's all right. Nothing you can't kind of fold back. Wetworks number 7. You know, it's not like it's an X-Men 92 or Incredible Hulk 181. Like, oh, the cover's bent. But no, Wetworks number 7. Cool art and a pretty cool story overall. But I'm not heartbroken if it's all torn up. Codename Strike Force number 2. Cyber Force number 4 with a cool foily cover. You can see the foil there. Age of Bronze Sacrifice number 12. So, I don't know. Something from Image from a few years back. 2001. So, I don't know. Eric Shanauer. It's black and white. Looks like a historical kind of story. Oh, interesting. I'll check it out. Youngblood Strike File number 3. Youngblood Battle Zone number 2. Youngblood Strike File number 2. All right. The Agency number 6 from Top Cow. Cool stuff. Oh, Mike Grell's Shaman's Tears number 1 from Image. Cool looking. Soul Saga number 2 and number 4. Those have some really neat art on the cover. Looks like who's doing the work on this one? Stephen Platt and Christian Lickner, created and written. Stephen Platt doing the penciling, the inking by Sal Regla. I'm really dyslexic on his name. Cool stuff. All right. We're probably halfway through the box. Maybe not quite. There's some more Image books. Divine Right, number 4, The Adventures of Max Faraday. It's got a very, very cool cover. I love the white space, but then it's kind of broken up by like this explosion in the middle. Very neat. Phantom Force, number 1, followed by Phantom Force, number 1, followed by Phantom Force, number 1. I have 3 Phantom Force, number 1. So for all of you Phantom Force collectors out there, message me and I'll get you a copy. There's The Others, number 0, 16-page preview. Let's see if that's like a flip book or something. Oh, a couple copies of that too. So if you're a big Others collector, got an extra one of those. Oh, hey, nice. Alien Legion number 8. This is an old one. Goes well with one of the earlier ones I got from, I think, the last box I got. I got a cool old Alien Legion book. I love this stuff. This was early Alien Legion, so Carl Potts did all the work on this. Alan Zelenetz did the writing, but Carl Potts had actually created Alien Legion. So some great stuff there. From Black Bull, Shadow Reavers number 4. Neat. All right. Geez, way back in the 80s. This is Atari Force number 4 and number 2 and number 3. That's really some great stuff because they took old Atari video games and they turned them into a really neat story. So Jerry Conway and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez worked on that. It's just fun. Freak Force number 4. The Freak Force number 1 is in there as well as Freak Force number 2. So I have 1, 2, and 4 along with the 0 issue. So that's kind of cool. Neat stuff there. Sorry, I'm reorganizing my piles back here so I have room to put everything. And Deadpool says, read more comics. All right. Legend of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1 from Impact Comics. These were really good. I don't know whatever happened to Impact. I'll have to look them up and see. But Impact had some great stuff. They had Legend of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think they brought back, they had the Black Hood, which was really cool. Just a bunch of different ones that have shown up now again in the Archie imprint. So I don't know if these were a piece of DC Comics. So I don't know if they went back to Archie and now Archie's doing them. It's pretty interesting. Deathblow #18 has a cool like kill 'em all, let God sort 'em out cover. That's kind of neat. Aria #3 from Image, very neat cover. All right, yeah, I definitely would recommend these folks if you like just getting a bunch of random comics that you just never know what's going to be in there. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s, but it's some great stuff, and it's well worth the price just to get a bundle of comics. You may pick out, I think, I've picked out a few things. It's like, wow, this is worth, $20 or $30 or $40. But then a lot of it's like, oh, wow, I paid 25 cents a piece and it's worth 23 cents, So it's kind of half and half. But there are some really cool things. So Clive Barker's Ecto Kid, which was a great little series back from the Marvel Razorline imprint. So it had a really neat, as I drop it there, awesome, really neat foil cover back when foil covers were all the rage. Let's see. Marvel Universe Master Edition. This is like a print, hole punched and everything, ready to go into your binder of Marvel Universe figures with all their stats and everything. This was the Master Edition update. Beyonder through, it's like it says Definitive Costume Reference and Super Statistics, the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Master Edition, issue 35. So this gives you a whole bunch of different characters, but it does give you some updates on the Beyonder, Blood Axe, a whole bunch of different ones. Doesn't really tell what year it's for or anything, but that's pretty cool that they did like a little update like that. Very neat. Back to more Punisher 59. This is where he gets fixed up after that, and then he was black for a few issues, but those are not here, and then he's back after being black. There's 69, Punisher Euro Hit, and I want to say this is where we first meet the British Punisher, but I'm not sure. 70, 74, 76. This is cool because this is some of the stuff that I don't have in my Punisher collection, which I really like Punisher. 77, 78 I do have. 80 I do have. 81 I don't have, so that's cool. Another great Punisher book there. And it's all about what you like. I mean, if you like comics, it's not always about finding the big money books. In fact, probably only 25% of the time it's about finding the big money books. The majority of the time, it's about finding something you really want to read and something fun and something cool. A lot of the times like this, I've never seen this before. It's a Marvel book, issue 3, Nightside. And yeah, it's not perfect, but it's actually got really good corners and stuff. But it's got some really cool art, and I'll check it out. Maybe it'll be like, oh, this is something I really want to read, and I'll go and pick up the rest of the issues. So you never know. Night Stalkers, issue 9 or 7. This is back when Ghost Rider and Blade and a bunch of other guys teamed up, and they were like hunting all these supernatural dudes. Nomad, issue 10, and Nomad, issue 10, just in case I needed to read one for each eye. Cool. Issue 12, a couple copies of that. Nomad. It's fun stuff. Alpha Flight, number 110. And this is Infinity War crossover, so that's a while ago. And then number 111, that has Weapon Omega versus himself. Kind of interesting. Looks like Wild Child there on the front, too. The Titans, number 2. Superman and everybody. There's Legacy, number 4. If you want to see something about, there's a Quasar, right? Which we've got, Quasar coming back now. And Ron Martz did work on this book, which is really cool. But this is kind of I don't know, this is sort of where he started fading out of the universe, I believe. I'm not really sure on this part, but he just changed his outfit and everything was kind of weird. Um, but now, there's a female captain or a female Quasar coming back. So Warlock and the Infinity Watch, number 5. There's an old Star Trek, number 30 from DC Comics. And that was one of the ones when I opened up that last box. It was like Babylon 5. And the book was worth like $15. Like, why is this book worth $15? It's just kind of funny. Generation X, number 3. A little bit of folded up corner, but, again, nothing's perfect. Blue Devil, number 9. Back in the day, this was a fun series. Blue Devil was like a Hollywood stuntman turned superstar kind of guy, and of course he had devil horns and a cool trident. So there's Spider-Man 2099, number 2, and number 5, and number 6, and number 11. So cool. If you had a need to fill out your Spider-Man 2099 series for the original series. Blood Syndicate, number 1, and this was from DC's Milestone Comics. This was kind of the whole, like, we're going to create a line of comics just for different ethnic groups, because our regular DC Comics characters are too white. So all the heroes were black or Hispanic or whatever. They just different races, and it was interesting. That's where we get Static Shock, if you ever wonder where he came from. All right. Hey, some more cool Valiant stuff. There's like 4 copies of Harbinger number 18, and a couple copies of Harbinger 19, and copy of Exo Man of War number 18. Very cool. Hardcore. 4 copies of Hardcore number 7, which is Hardcore's a pretty neat series, because these guys they're like on death row, or they're whatever, they've given up their lives, and they get implanted with these little bombs, and then they have these things that allow them to download different powers, but then when they've outlived their usefulness, they blow up. No, they could blow up, but normally their brains just fry and they die. Excuse me. So Hardcore number 8 as well. So 7 and 8. I got 4 copies of 7, 2 of 8. Pretty cool. Supreme number 8. X-Men Second Coming, Chapter 1. That's the first issue of that. I'm not sure what that was all about. I don't even remember this miniseries. So the Vampire Dahlia from Iron Cat. Again, some of that. Second Coming Revelations Hellbound. This must have been like a mini-series tie-in. This is issue 2 or 3 of 3. Don't know. Here's Hardcore number 9. Hardcore number 10. Oh, cool stuff, because I'm missing some of these. Dr. Spectrum number 5 from the Marvel Max imprint. And this was Straczynski was doing the whole Supreme Power series, and then they had the spin-offs, Dr. Spectrum, and with all the different characters. Very cool. So this was part of that series. Quasar number 44, 45, another 45. Some good stuff with Quasar there. Mutant X number 24. That was Havoc, I believe. Hey, remember I said this looked pretty cool? So there's Nightside number 1 and number 3. So maybe I don't have to go too far to find the rest of that story. Let's see. We're getting down there. Not too much left. ElfQuest number 6. Hidden Years. ElfQuest Hidden Years. But that's a cool old book from Warp Graphics. So good ElfQuest. That's pretty neat. I always like those. ElfQuest New Blood number 5. Now, this is some good stuff. It kind of gets on the edge there, but really like Tim Vigil's stuff. Faust. And this is Tim Vigil. His artwork is just amazing. This is Act 10 of Love of the Damned. Very, very interesting series. A lot of detail to the art, but kind of gory, kind of creepy. So it just depends on if you're into that stuff. Beauty and the Beast, a TV series. This is issue 1 from Innovation. And we're actually just talking about Linda Hamilton the other day because she lives here in Maryland, not too far, a couple hours away from where I am. And we'd love to get a hold of her and try to talk to her about doing an interview or something on our show. Because really like all the stuff she'd been in. Of course, if you don't know her from Beauty and the Beast, with her and Ron Perlman is Vincent, then you might know her from Terminator. Yeah. Renegade Press has a book called French Ice. Just very interesting. Carmen Crew. It says featuring Carmen Crew. So I don't know. French Ice, that's number 2. Number 10. Don't know what those really are. Stan Winston's Realm of the Claw, issue 2 from Image. Beautiful art. Let's check that out. Telos from Image. Telos number 3. That is a cool cover. It looks like a sketch cover. I'll have to see what that's all about. Very neat. Hellcop number 1 from Image. Hellcop. And Wetworks. Wetworks number 1, actually, from Image as well. Now it says Rebirth, so I don't know. That's some miniseries. From Liar Comics, More Than Mortal. So interesting looking, vampire looking comic. More Than Mortal, that's number 2. That's number 3. Here's Thunder God number 2 from Crusade. Thunder God sounds like Thor, right? Hey, Deathmate Blue from Valiant. Very cool. I don't have a copy of that, so that's neat. Spider-Man Collectible Series Volume 16. And there's like it's almost like an insert book. I'll have to see what that's all about, but it's the Living Brain, which is the robot right now that Dr. Octopus is downloaded into. So it's a tribute to teenagers issue. I'll have to see if that's actually an insert from a book or a magazine or what that is. Ultraverse Prime number 9. Prime was pretty good. They had some good stories. I liked Prime. Dr. Mirage number 10. Second Life of Dr. Mirage. Marvel Knights number 2. You got Sue Storm or Sue Richards and Namor there getting ready to smooch a smooch. And looks almost like Jim Lee artwork on the cover. So let's see if that's who's doing the cover work. Jay Lee, sorry. Oh, I apologize. Jay Lee does all the interior and the cover. Very, very cool. So that's cool. I hadn't read any of those Marvel Knights one. There's Max Fury number 2 or number 3. Garth Ennis and Jimmy Palmiotti. Very neat. Marvel Knights number 14. Another copy of Fury number 3. There's Fury number 4. Star Gods number 2 from Conquest. So interesting cover. I don't know. Here's I have no idea. It almost looks like a Stargate kind of thing. I'm going to open it and find out what it is. Something mysterious. I like mysterious comics. It is Star Gods number 1 from Conquest. So I got number 1 and number 2. It's pretty cool. I'll have to read those, see if they're any good. And the last little stack, it's not little, it's quite big actually. Okay. And so far, really, none the worse for wear for having gone all the way across country and back. It actually came out pretty good, especially for being in a cardboard box like this. That was kind of all torn up, but yeah, they actually came out pretty good. There's Wetworks number 8. Savage Skull Kickers #1, which is actually like Skull Kickers number 20 something or 30 something, I don't know, but yeah, pretty funny. They did some weird things. Secret Weapons #13. I have like 7 and 8 or 1 and 2 or something, so the more of these I start getting, the more I read this story from Valiant. That was cool. Team Youngblood #1, 2 copies of that. Wildstar #2, 2 copies of that. Here's Youngblood #4, 2 copies of that. Cliffhanger Out There #6. It's got some crazy stuff going on the cover. Don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know, really, seriously. Like, Humberto Ramos is doing the pencils on this. Brian Augustine is writing it. I'll check it out. There's issue 4 of Underworld. Frank Thierry, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Staz Johnson or Star Johnson, or no idea. But that's kind of cool. Punisher and some other people. Kazar #3. Must be like the volume 2 or 3. There's #4, #5, #6. It's cool. Captain Atom #32, back from the 80s. Hawk and Dove #20, again from back from the 80s. An old Power Pack #18. Pretty good series. There's some Walt Simonson artwork. Is that who's doing the... Oh, Louise Simonson. Brett Anderson and Scott Williams. Yeah, it's cool. Silver Sable #16. Cage #13. Luke Cage. Now this is some fun stuff because this is some of the first comics I remember getting. This is the Who's Who in the DC Universe. And it's completely outdated now, but it's a really cool book because it takes all the characters and it gives you some really nice rundowns of who's the character. You know, here's Batwoman. Who is she? Where did she first appear? What's her alter ego? What's her occupation? And it gives you a history of her first appearance, all that kind of stuff. So some really neat stuff like that. Arian #4. Good series. Hey, some more New Universe stuff. Merc Hazard #3. Or Mark Hazard. Merc. I don't have that one. It's cool. Marvel Boy #4. Interesting cover. Justice League America. Lobo plus Amazo equals a bunch of dead people. Okay. Avengers West Coast '91. Nightcrawler #4, of the 4-issue miniseries. Quasar 43. Looks like 2 copies of that. Here's the other copy of Quasar 44. And then Exo Database #1. So all around, some pretty cool stuff from the folks at E&J Boutique. They have a Facebook page. If you go check them out, that I'll put a link to in the description. And you know, they have some great comics. You can stop by the shop. They have stuff on sale all the time. They have a big sale this weekend they were doing. But then, you know, they send out bulk comics like that, and you get a lot of fun stuff. So, all right, thanks for watching, and please go read more comics.